after this past week, I've struggled a little bit with the message for this morning. It started out with one that felt like God gave me, but then that was on Monday. And on Tuesday, it seemed like another one showed up. Then another one Wednesday. And then late last night, when I was finalizing everything, I realized that just about every one of them were tied in together. And I saw something on Thursday that really tied it all in together. And this is going to be a little strange, you might think, but listen to the words that are said here. It's something that I'd almost be sure of that most everybody in here today has probably seen this before. But just listen to what is being said.
Unsuspecting stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right. 'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you. Any wrong you do is gonna see. When you're in Texas, look behind you. 'Cause that's what a ranger's gonna be.
Who thought they were going to come to church this morning to see Walker, Texas Ranger? But you know, that show's got a lot of good morals in it. It does. But if you listen to the words of that, what does it say? In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspected stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right. As the eyes of a ranger are upon you, any wrong you do, he's going to see. And when you're in Texas, look behind you, because that's where the ranger's going to be. How many people can say that that's more than just a ranger? Who else could be talked about right there? Or more else who is probably being talked about that? See, Chuck Norris is actually pretty strong in his beliefs. On the show Walker, God's mentioned quite a bit. So in the eyes of a ranger, in the eyes of God, you could almost look at it as God's the perfect Texas Ranger. Even though there are some people out there that will dispute that's Chuck Norris. But anyway, the message that I got on Monday and the message that I got on Thursday from this, I couldn't tie the two together. But last night I got looking and I noticed there's so much truth to that. Go to Psalms 139. O Lord, you have searched me, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely. O Lord, you hem in me, behind and before. You have laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful to me, too lofty for me to obtain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. No matter how much we try to hide things, we can't hide it from God. You notice that Walker, any other show, the criminals are always trying to hide something. They're always trying to hide, they're trying to cover their tracks. They'll wipe everything down so that their fingerprints aren't shown. They'll take bleach to try to cover things up. They'll try to do this. They'll try to do that. Try to make sure their DNA is not being shown anywhere. They try every possible thing they can. But in most all those shows, just about every time, they get caught. Because through all of these advances in technology and all of these different things, it's getting harder for them to hide. It's getting harder for them to figure out ways to get away with the crime. The thing is we do the same things many times. You look at David, King David. What all did he go through to try to hide the fact that he had an affair? He tried to send the woman, he tried to send her husband, tried to get her back so that he would go and lay with her so that everything was taken care of. It didn't work. Why? Because he was trying to be hidden from God. He was trying to hide it from God, and you can't hide from God. It's said that there's a lot of people have a secret life. Have this life that they want to try to hide from everyone. That is very dark. And to an extent there is. But you can't hide it from God. He's always there. There's a reason why He's all-knowing and He's all-present. And He's taking care of us. This is a simple message this morning. It really is. But it speaks so much volumes. Because when it boils right down to it, no matter who you're close to, no matter what's going on, there's only two people that truly know every tiny little detail about you. Two. You and God. That knows every little thing. He knows the thoughts that's running through your head right now. He knows the convictions upon your heart. Because He put them there. He knows how much Satan tries to fight you each and every day. And see, Satan's the master criminal. He's the one that thinks he can get away with anything. Because he's the master at lying. He came to kill, steal, and destroy. But yet the thing about it is he can't hide from God. There's this perception today that for people to truly get involved with God, and what I mean by that is not just come to the altar and not just read the Bible, but sometimes just ask for that prayer of salvation, or to make that next step into doing what we need to do. There's this perception that we've got to do certain things before God will accept us. Will accept us into this. Yes, He is all-knowing, but He is all-graceful also. You see in that no matter where the person hides, God's there. But you look at verse 9. If I rise on wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light will come night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. For you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in a secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. See, we have this conception that God knows everything and we can't hide from Him. That was simple as it was. We can't hide from Him. Cannot be done. He's all-knowing. He's all-present. He's everywhere. That's just all there is to it. But the fact of the matter is He is not everywhere. He is not all-knowing and He is not all-present because He wants to condemn us. What did Jesus say in John 3:17? For I did not come to condemn the world, but to save the world. He's all-knowing and He's all-present because He's not there to say, you're doing wrong. He's there to say, I want to save you. I want you to do what I'm asking of you. But the fact of the matter is people have got the perception, as I was talking a while ago, you've got to get good to get God. Where in all actuality, what it actually is, you've got to get God to get good. Let me say that one more time. You don't get good to get God. You get God to get good. Because it does not matter how wonderful and how great of a life you lead, how well you are at keeping secrets or hiding those things that might be causing you to stray away. You can't hide it from God. But more than that, it does not matter how well you live your life. It does not matter if you do everything perfect. If you do not ask God for that salvation and start going through what He's got planned for you, then things aren't going to be exactly right. They're not going to be good. Yes, all it takes to make it to heaven is the salvation and to stay in that salvation. But yet at the same time, it is considered and it's biblical. It's verse after verse after verse. That a recent study, and it's not really that recent, it's about 30 or 40 years old, that have found that the more you do for God, the more rewards you get in heaven. See, the fact of the matter is when you actually get God to get good, when you actually get God to get good, there's this thing that happens to you. You start to change. Your mindset changes. Everything about you starts to change into a perspective of, this used to be really important to me. But this is something I used to hide from God in. Or I tried to hide from God in by doing this. So I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do what God wants me to do. Because when it boils right down to it, He's there for us always. No matter what, He's there for us. In those last few verses that we just read, it tells that He is not there to condemn us completely. He doesn't want to try to hurt us. He doesn't want to make us feel guilty. People say that they're under the conviction of God all the time. That conviction is not God trying to make you feel guilty. It's God trying to get you to wake up. To wake up and see what He is asking of you. Wake up to accept Him. To try to just raise up. Because see, as it sits right now, we have this problem in the world today. That the generations that are growing up, the generations that will soon be in leadership, in government roles, many of them don't know a single word in the Bible. As we were talking in Sunday school earlier, there's actually some people out there that think Joan of Arc is Noah's wife. Now, am I saying we've got to know everything there is to know about the Bible to be saved? No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is when you turn your life over to God, things can start changing. You want to start picking up the Bible. You want to start reading into it. You want to start trying to understand what it says. There was a guy the other day, in another one of my classes, we brought up the subject of why is it people don't read the Bible anymore? And he just spoke out and he said, I can tell you that real quickly. I can tell you right now why people don't read the Bible. And his answer truly shocked me. He said it's boring. He said the Bible's boring. That's a harsh statement. He said it's not to him anymore. But he said before he started living the Christian life, it was extremely boring. It's just like a history book. Which in essence, to someone that doesn't know God, that's about what it is. But that's the thing about this book. This book is divinely inspired by God. He wrote every single word in it. Maybe by man's hands and maybe through a man's thoughts. But God wrote every word of it. It's divinely written. Because this shows us, even though it was written 2,000 years ago, it shows us still how we can live our life today. But that's what I'm talking about, is when that change. When you stop hiding from God. When you start realizing that, in a sense, God is the greatest technology geek there is, in a sense. Because He doesn't even need the DNA machine or the fingerprint machine. He doesn't need all those things because He knows each one of us. And what happens to us is when we start realizing that we got to get God to get good, when we accept God into our life, this book all of a sudden changes from a history book to the book that we lead our life by. This book actually becomes what the acronym says, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Because that's what it is. So what I'm saying to you this morning is, if I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light become night around me, even the darkness will be not dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. What I'm saying to you this morning, what is it that you're trying to hide from God? What is it that is holding you back? What is it that you feel like that you need to deal with? It's just, you can't let go of it. Just for some reason you cannot let go of it. As we have the invitation this morning, what is it that you just can't let go of? I ask you this morning to let go of it. To give it to God. Stop hiding in it. Stop trying to do whatever it takes to do it yourself. God knows your problems. He just wants you to lift them up to you, to Him. He wants you to lift your problems up to Him. Whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, whatever it might be, God can handle it all. So she sings this morning. I ask you to think about that. What is it this morning that cross was given for you, but yet you're not putting it on the cross? Jesus is already there. He's already been there and left. Our sins are forgiven. Our problems are not our problems. But what is it that you just can't let go of? Let go of it this morning. Give it to God and He'll take care of it.